Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial video where today we're going to be taking a look at creating a Twitch overlay from scratch. So let's jump right in it and let's see what we can create. So to start this off, what we've done is we made a document that's 1920 by 1080 in size, and I've just added some color swatches here so we can sample them as we're going through the design. So first off, what you want to do is create a nice rectangle. That's 1280 by 720 pixels in size. And one thing you want to make sure of is that this option here is unchecked, otherwise you won't be able to key in the correct values that you want. And we're going to get rid of the fill, we're going to get the stroke, and we're going to sample a light grays there, and we're going to make it 30 pixels of thickness. So that looks good to me. Alright, press Ctrl A to select everything and center this up. And we're going to press Ctrl R to bring out our rulers and get our center lines in. One thing you can do is right click on your rulers here and get percent so you know where the center is. It'll snap to the center anyway, but it's nice to know. There we go, your horizontal and vertical centers. So we're going to zoom in here by just holding down Alt and using the scroll wheel to go in and out. And grab our lasso tool. First off, you might want to rasterize the layer so we can edit it. And then go in here and start cutting out some of the areas that we want by holding the shift button and just clicking our way around. And after we got a nice selection like that cut out, what we're going to do is just delete the rest of the object because we don't need it anymore. Using the guides here to snap to everything. And then we're going to Alt and click, just Control T to flip this, and then grab both of our layers, holding Alt and drag in to make a copy of them, Control T, transform, and we're going to flip vertically and get it to snap down on there. One thing I want to do as well is I'd quite like to have a nice area up here. I'm just gonna fill that color on this layer here, and then I'm gonna delete that, and I'm gonna copy that back over. And actually, I'm gonna do the same to this one here, but I'm gonna make this one just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to have it come down a bit as well. And I'm going to fill that with the color by just pressing Alt and Backspace without the color selected. And I'm going to copy that over, Alt and drag in again, flip horizontally, and put that in there. So I'm going to select everything by selecting the top layer, holding down Shift, clicking the bottom layer, and then Layer, Merge Layers. And just to make sure this is in line with this, I'm going to drag a selection box around there and just delete that. So there we have a nice base for our rest of the design. So next up we're going to get some nice lighting effects in these areas here. So zooming in again, clicking and dragging out with the selection tool. Get a solid color. Get a solid color. Move again underneath our frame layer. And I'm going to make this a little bit of a light pinkish color. Zoom out. Go to right click on it. Blending options. I'm going to go select outer glow. On our purples, I want to go a little bit lighter and decrease the opacity, and actually I'm going to make this a bit brighter. Zoom into it again, go back to blending options and get a little inner glow. We're just trying to give it a bit of an edge to it. That looks good to me. See what it looks like on a darker layer. Yeah, you can see that. It shows up quite nicely. I might just increase that effect a little bit by going to blending options again. The glow, and increasing the opacity and maybe a little bit brighter. There we go. It's always nice to add a little bit of noise as well. Just seals the effect. Okay, so let's turn off this layer. And we're going to grab our first light, Alt and drag, Control T to transform, and we're going to put it in place here, using the arrow keys to move it where we want it. Control T again, holding down Shift and dragging up. Press Enter, and we'll do the same again. Make sure we've got the right layer selected. Alt and drag, Control T. Take it around. I'm holding Shift as well to snap it to the angles. Pressing Enter, confirm where I want it, and moving it up with the arrow keys again. And I'm going to bring this in, holding down Shift. And there we go. Select all of these. And the way I'm selecting all of these is just by holding down Alt and Shift, and then right-clicking the layers that I want. So I'll do Alt and Shift, right-click, right-click, and right-click. And this is going to select everything that you've got, that you're hovering over. And we're going to Alt and drag that. Press Control T. Flip horizontally and move it in place. And there we have it. So next up we want to add a little bit of an effect to this to make it stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to Alt right click on the layer to select it. Right click on there, go to blending options, and we're just going to add a nice little bevel and emboss. Make sure we got inner bevel selected. Chisel hard. And make sure upper selected. Let me zoom in on this just so we can see. Maybe make the background darker again. And go back to blending options. And you can see that's making the edges just sort of stand out just a little bit more. Now you can see one problem we have here is that there's light bleeding out into the outside. So one way we can fix this is we can select all of our light layers and hitting Control D to group together, and we can add a layer mask, and we can grab the selection tool, select a box around the entire frame, making sure to stay just within the frame. Pressing Control Shift and I, and then filling the layer with black. Making sure black is the main color you've selected, and then pressing Alt and backspace to fill the layer. And then that gets rid of the light bleed for us. And we'll just rename this to lights, just so we know what's in there. So, next up, we need to create the bottom tray area here. So to do that, we are just going to get another selection box. We can bring back up our rulers, the view and extra. And what I'm going to do, select this layer here and bring out a few more. Just so I can snap to the edges. Keep it all nice and neat. And I'm going to bring one out down here. There we go. So I'm going to drag out another selection, make a nice little box. and pull it down below our frame. And what I can do is I'm going to copy the layer style to this layer and just paste them onto this layer. So we've got the similar kind of effect going on there. Get rid of our rulers. And we're going to add in some nice little areas here for something like top donation and most recent follower. So I'm going to grab the lasso tool again. And we're going to just click where we want the shape to be. Here, here, and here. Trying to get it nice and as close as we can. And we're going to create a new solid color. Get this one a bit darker. And I'm going to copy this over. Alt and drag it again. Flip horizontally. And looks like that's exactly where it needs to be. And to add a nice little bevel effect to this, what we're going to do is right click on the layer, go to blending options, go to bevel and emboss, go to outer bevel, chisel hard, just select it down, and everything else is fine. And we're going to copy that layer style, and we're going to paste it into there. It's lovely. So next thing we're going to do is add our logo in and add in a few of the icons. So I've got my logo here in Illustrator. Gonna copy that and paste him in. Make sure he's above everything. Control T to transform and just drop him in the middle there. Center him up. And I'm going to try and match the purple here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that purple color, grab the value of it. I'm going to double click on my vector layer. I'm going to select the green and just paste in that value. And then I'm going to save the document. And then that'll update in our main work area here. To make it stand out a little bit more, I'm going to right click, go to blending options and just add a nice little drop shadow. It's a bit too harsh, I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. And there we have that. So let's get on the other two icons in here. So we're going to open in Illustrator as well. So we'll get our donation icon, just copy and paste them in. Like so. And we'll get our nice follow icon. And we're going to add a nice little glow effect to them, so we're going to copy the layer styles of our lights. Remember Alt and right click in to select the layer. Right click on it, copy layer style, and then we're going to Alt and right click on this layer again to select it, and then paste layer style. You can see we need to bring that back just a little bit because it's a bit too harsh. I think it's the inner glow that's affecting it. Yeah. So we'll take the inner glow off and we'll turn the opacity of the outer glow down just a little bit. And we'll copy that layer style. We'll select our donation icon and just paste it onto it. Like so. So next up is to add some sort of finishing touches to it, add a bit of shading and just brighten up everything a little bit. So to do that, the best way to do it is first we're going to add some light in these two boxes here. So I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to quickly rasterize them and I'm going to apply the layer mask to them and I'm going to merge them together. But before I do that, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to copy the layer styles and then I'm going to clear the layer styles. It's just so when I merge them we can paste the layer styles back in and we can still edit the layer style later on. So I'm going to control click and I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to use what we've just selected as a mask and to paint inside of this layer. The brush is a bit big. I'm going to scale him down just a smidge. I'm going to get a nice white brush. We're going to paint in a nice little highlight in there and in there. And what we're going to do as well is have a nice purple highlight in there as well. There and there. Just sort of start to bring it out a little bit. So one thing we can do as well is we can alt and right click on this layer, and we can do the same again with this one. So we can create a new layer. We can control click to select our main frame. Use that as a mask. Press B, bring up our brush again, and we can add a nice little highlight to our artwork. So we'll add a nice little highlight down here, and we'll add one up here. Just sort of makes it pop a little bit and brings it out. And next up, what we can do is add a bit of shadowing under here. One thing I'm going to do as well is just make these a little bit smaller. And I'm going to do the same thing here with what we've been doing. So I've got to rasterize this layer first. And apply the layer mask. And control click. Create a new layer. Use it as a mask. And create a darker layer, sorry. And just have a nice little shadow underneath everything there. And what I can do is clip that to that layer. And I'm going to clip this one to that layer. And the same with that. So sort of slowly coming together now. So next thing I'm going to do is just add some finishing little details to it. Right, the main thing we want to do is chop off these corners here, just to make it a bit more visually interesting. Select them, delete. Same thing on this side. Yeah, delete. And we'll do the same on this side as well. Oh, make sure you got the layer selected. Alt and right click to select the layer. Probably got mass out too. Same thing on this side. We might want to do the same up here as well. So alt and right click, select the layer, and make these ones a little bit bigger. There we go. Just check what size I had these. Okay. And hit delete. There we go, just makes it a bit more visually interesting to look at. Now, one thing I do want to do is make these a little bit thinner because they are a little bit too thick for me and a bit too distracting. So I'm just going to move them in just a little bit by little 3 dashes with the up arrow key. This one out a little bit. This one down. And to finally finish up, we're just going to add some nice corner pieces here. So I'm going to grab a new layer, hold down shift, and we're going to make some nice shapes here. Solid color. And we're going to grab the effect from this. Copy layer styles. Alt right click, paste layer styles. It's going to give us a nice little bevel. Purple color. I can grab that purple. I'm going to select those layers. And yeah, put them underneath there. paste them, Alt and Shift, Control T to transform, and just move them all in place with the arrow keys. Get as close as you can. And we're not going to add the glow effect to these because you don't want to go too overboard with it. This one in place. And they look pretty symmetrical to me. So another little finishing touch we're going to do is to just add some nice little highlights to you. Doing the same thing. Show that layer selected so we can go under it quicker. So to solid color. Grab this grey again. Probably underneath that. And we'll alt and drag another layer to make it purple. And I'm going to select both these layers and just bring them in a little bit. What I'm probably going to do is make this purple a little bit brighter. And just to add some style to it, I'm going to right click on it, go to blending options, gradient overlay, and just going to make this go from grey to grey to a nice white. And let's change the blend mode to overlay. That just gives it a nice little sheen effect. Make that a little bit darker. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's starting to a nice little look to it now. And we'll take both these layers. And just for sake of experimentation, we'll copy that layer style and put it onto that one as well. And that looks fine. So we'll take these layers, copy them over. Control T, transform, flip horizontally, and nest him underneath there, making sure he looks close to the other one. Oh. That looks good. And we'll just add another layer here. Add in some more highlights. Do another solid color. Purple, and we'll just paste that layer style onto there. Go a little bit brighter. And one thing I'm going to do is just change the angle of this gradient. And copy him over, do the same thing, transform, and tuck him underneath. And I think I'll probably change the angle of this gradient as well. And there we have it. A nice, fairly simple to do Twitch overlay. Now one thing I'm going to do is leave a link for this in the comment section below and in the description, so if you want to this for yourself, all you have to do is just change the logo and you can use it on your own stream. So thank you for listening. If you liked what you watched, then hit subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.